Okay, we're recording.
Thank you so much. All right, I'm going to call this meeting of the Governance, Organization, and Legislation Committee of the Town Council to order. It's Tuesday, November 25th at 6:30 p.m. I'm going to call on each member of the committee just to make sure they can hear and we can hear them. Lynn Griesmer,
Present.
Councillor Lord,
Present.
Pat DeAngelis. Oh, Pat, are you able? Pat, are you able to unmute?
Sorry.
That's okay. No worries.
Present.
Thank you. And we will keep an eye on the attendees for Councillor Ette as well. We're also joined by Rob Mora for our first item on the agenda. So we're going to start with public comment. Comments are up to 3 minutes. If you'd like to make a public comment and you're in the attendees, please raise your hand and I will ask Athena to give you speaking permission. So it looks like we have one public comment. Athena, would you give Martha? Thank you. Unmuting powers. All right, Martha, go ahead. If you could keep it to 3 minutes, that would be great. And I will be timing. Go ahead.
Martha Hanner, District 5, for the League's Racial Justice Committee. We've sent you a memo with our priority 2026 goals for the town manager based on the findings from our report in the category of community safety and social justice. First, work with dispatch and APD to define and implement referral of calls to CRESS. You have already highlighted this action with a December 31st goal, but it's not a once and done deal. The police seem to feel threatened and reluctant to delegate calls. I believe Paul can change their attitude and emphasize the advantages of referring some calls, but only if he's persistent, and that will only happen if you all are persistent and continue to keep this activity in the forefront all year long. Next, CRESS. The CRESS responders are skilled and well-trained. Means must be found to extend their hours beyond 4 p.m. It's only common sense they should be present for calls and direct contacts during the hours when the need is greatest, namely 4 to 8 p.m. And of course, they must be better integrated with dispatch. Third is conduct an external review of APD policies and protocols as recommended by the 2021 LEAP report. And I would recommend that you all reread that LEAP report. I'll quote from that. It says, "It is of the utmost importance to review and amend these policies regularly in all police departments to ensure that the policies are clear enough to be practical, useful tools for officers and that they can earn the community's approval and respect as upholding the values." In particular, the LEAP report called for APD to discontinue low-level and pretextual traffic stops and consent searches of vehicles, stressing these are conducted disproportionately to people of color, creating distrust without any clear benefit to public safety. And that was based on their looking at the police logs. So it's common practice that when a new chief takes over any business enterprise, that a top-down review is conducted looking for improved efficiency and effectiveness, and in this case can help clarify tasks that are more appropriately be handled by CRESS. And it was promised to us actually, but I don't think it's happened. So the main theme of our goals is establishing trust. We find there's a troubling lack of trust in our community, and it cuts both ways. It's not just one group. And so building trust has got to be the 2026 priority for all of us working together, council, volunteer groups, and everybody else. So thank you very much for your work.
That was perfect timing. You had 1 second left on my timer. So thank you so much for that ability. Thank you, Martha. And going back to the audience, I'm not seeing any other hands up, so I'm going to move back to the rest of our agenda. Thank you. First up is a proposed zoning map change. This is coming from CRC. We are reviewing for clarity, consistency, and actionability. And this is the Main Street BN district to consider amending the town of Amherst official zoning map to rezone 3 parcels on Main Street known as 14B-29, 14B-30, and 14B-31 from the General Residence District, RG, to the Neighborhood Business District, BN. I asked Athena if that was the full name. She said, or I asked Athena for the full name, and she said that's what it was. And I thought about a way to shorten it, but couldn't come up with a good one. So here we are. And Lynn has offered, I've been having issues with my email, so Lynn has offered to pull this up to share screen, which I appreciate. And we also are joined by Rob Mora. Rob, would you like to say anything by way of introducing this this change?
Sure, thank you. Rob Moore, Building Commissioner. This is the, as you mentioned, proposal to change 3 parcels currently in the General Residence District to the Neighborhood Business District. These are 3 parcels just west of Dickinson Street. Up on the screen there shown, highlighted in blue, are the 3 parcels. They are also known as 229, 257, and 285 Main Street. The proposal was heard at public hearing by the planning board on November 19th, recommended for adoption, recommendation to the council in a 5-1-1 vote. On November 20th, the CRC also recommended in favor of the proposal, 4-0 with 1 absent. The proposed map change has been reviewed by the town attorney and is ready to move forward to the town council. And I'd be happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thanks so much. We do not have Pam with us, but I don't know if Pat, you wanted to say anything about CRC. I know I'm putting on the spot here, so there's no pressure, but if you had anything to share about CRC's discussion, we welcome your.
No, I think it was straightforward and this makes a lot of sense to us as a committee. So I think we just need to look at it, make sure it's clear, consistent, and actionable, and pass that tonight and get it back to the council.
Sounds good. All right. So we are looking at the motion language and the discussion. I think in terms of the clarity, consistency, and actionability, we're really, we're not reviewing text in quite that same way, I think, right? We're reviewing the motion here, but it's not like a resolution in that sense. We're just making sure that generally this is clear, consistent, and actionable versus a resolution review, if that makes any sense.
Mhm.
Are there any concerns as we are looking at this? And I will pause as folks take a minute to review to welcome Councillor Ette. Can you hear us? Oh, you're muted.
Yes, I can.
Okay, perfect. I mean, I feel like nodding. Yeah. All right. So, just to catch you up quickly, Councillor Arte, Rob Mora is here to discuss the proposed zoning change. There we go. And we are simply reviewing for clarity, consistency, and actionability as we do typically. And just generally, we're looking at the motion, but we're also looking generally at the change itself. So it's kind of looking at a map to say, does this map make sense? And if anyone else has a different interpretation of how GOL is supposed to review this type of change, that's how I interpret it.
I think that's correct.
Yeah. Okay. I am happy to move. Oh gosh, I'm going to read the whole dang thing again. All right. I move to find the proposed zoning map change. Do I have to read the whole thing? I'm just going to say, I move to find the proposed zoning map change clear, consistent, and actionable. Is there a second?
Second.
Great. Any further discussion? It was very quick. I'm a little shocked. Okay. Oh, Councillor
Nope.
Ette.
I'll just need a minute to read it, so I
Okay.
wouldn't vote for it if I don't know what it is. Yeah.
Absolutely. You can give it a minute.
And Anna, we will need a written report by tomorrow morning before noon. And I would just stick to this. It's the only piece that's going to be on the agenda Monday.
It's the only piece that's going to be on the agenda. What do you mean?
Well, we'll see how far we get with goals tonight.
Oh, yeah. I will email you a report somehow from my phone.
Right.
And the report will say GOL found this. Okay, well, I guess I don't know yet.
Are we ready for the vote?
I'm waiting. Yes, okay, all right, I'm gonna call the vote. Pat DeAngelis,
Aye.
Lynn Griesmer,
Aye.
Counselor Lord,
Aye.
Counselor Ate,
Aye.
and I am an aye as well. And who was my second on that? I'm sorry, Lynn, was it you?
I am.
That's what I thought, okay. Okay. Thank you, Rob. That was hopefully quick and painless, and you can get back to your Tuesday evening.
Thank you very much. Good night.
Thanks,
Uh,
Rob.
Thank you.
Welcome.
All right, everybody. So on to the main event that I know you're all very excited about today, which is the 2026 town manager goals.
And you can pull that up,
I can
right?
pull it up because what I did, I emailed all of the counselors and I told you all at council meetings, please send me the goals that you'd like to see. I compiled those, I put them under goal areas, and I tried to sort them a little bit by kind of theme or topic.
And
Right
do you
before-
have last year's goals as well?
I do, but we're going to start mostly with the ones that were submitted this year, because I think that what I asked folks to do is if they wanted something to be carried over, to send that to me. I do not want us to start with last year's document and either keep or remove. We need to start from scratch. And if folks wanted to pull forward something from last year, they had the opportunity to send it. That said, right before this, I was reading the school committee's goals for the superintendent. And I would just like to point out that there were 4 of them. Would anyone like to guess how many action items were sent to me?
Oh, 40.
Okay. Anyone else? No? No?
17. 17.
17? Well, Lynn is closer. 107.
Oh, God bless.
So we're about to have a really great time. Here we go. Let's start. There's no other way than just to get into it.
That was my number if I'd had the 0 in between the 1 and
I
the
was gonna say
7.
you were in like numerology wise, you were kind of close. Okay. So here's my thought on process. What I would like us to do is I would first like us to do a faster kind of rough run through of each of the goal areas. And I'd like us to condense where there are multiples into trying to find the common thread and kind of condense that down. Last year, one of the things that I felt pretty strongly about was not giving ourselves a set number, because some goals are really big, some goals are really small. I'm rethinking that approach this year. I think that if we give ourselves a goal, and I will give credit, I was inspired by Counselor Lord on this. When you sent me your goals, you were like, I'm trying to stick to 4 per area. I think that if we as GOL can try to narrow it down, or figure out a way to say, like, these are the goals that GOL is prioritizing, and bringing that to the council as a top 5 or something per area, we're going to be on better footing.
Could you
think
make this a little bigger?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Of course. So, for right now, let's take a rough, hang on, I will figure out how to make it bigger. Let's take a rough run through. If something is a solo goal, let's leave it for now. If something is multiple, let's see if they are similar and try to combine them into a new, okay? So we're going to work backwards alphabetically. Town council relationships and strategic partnerships. And we will surely run into my errors as we go through, where I sorted incorrectly. Please give me grace in that. We had 2 that were about town council. Actually, can I pause this for one more moment? I'm sorry. I have a request. As I facilitate this process, I will have to report back to the council. If someone is able to kind of take notes as we go along on kind of what we're doing, that would be really helpful for me in reporting back out to the council. Is someone able to sort of just jot down? We did this with the ABRC charge as well. Otherwise, I can do my best, but I am worried about my reporting back.
Counselor Ete is volunteering. Can you
I
send?
didn't know if he was volunteering.
I'm volunteering him.
Counselor Ete, are you able to do that?
Yes, I will.
Thank you
And
so much.
can you send him this so that he can write on it?
Um, yeah, so I can't send him this exact document because then it would be the possibility of collaborating outside the meeting. But I will send you I can send you a CSV file. It's more of if for right now, if you could kind of just take notes on the general conversation direction, but I will send this to you as an Excel file that you can use. And I'm sending this to everybody as an Excel file.
But I check with Athena on this, but now that you've shown it to us, it's public record.
Yeah, but we're gonna keep working on it, and if he has access to write on it now, he'll continue to, yeah. But this will
Works
be
for me.
going in the packet. Thank you. So, all right, launching in. First two, we've got two here. Continue working with our legislators. I'm gonna just make this a little bit bigger too, so we can, because these are all to explore the possibility of revising state legislation regarding pilot formulas involving state-owned land. And then this one takes it a bit further and includes enhanced Chapter 70 and reform charter school funding formula to increase school support.
Okay.
It seems like the second one is more is adding topics without necessarily adding a lot of extra work in my mind. There are things that we're basically saying these are the areas we want you to advocate for with our state legislators. Lynn?
It's consistent with what we've been doing. I definitely agree with the second one.
Okay. Any other thoughts on, on one or two?
Thumbs up on
And-
two.
Two?
The other thing I would say is, and other legislation as appropriate. Because, for example, we've been regularly testifying in support of the creating the fund for municipal buildings. And I actually need to go through this for the thing. So
What did, as another
as
legislation?
appropriate.
As appropriate. Okay. All right. I'm just gonna, sorry, I'm gonna make it a little smaller so I can see my full screen.
There was one single recommendation above this about the
Yep,
academy.
we're just gonna focus on the multiples right now and trying
I
to
see.
condense multiples down, and then we'll go back through.
Thank you.
I'm highlighting in yellow where we've done that. All right. Some of these are out of order. Let me move this one really quick. So then we've got a bunch here that are about strategic partnership agreements. Negotiate and execute a new UMass strategic partnership agreement, pursue strategic partnership agreements, continue work with and towards partnerships. This is not phrased as a goal, so I'm not quite sure how to frame that one, but it says UMass Amherst College, stronger dollar goals, fire, police, roads, UMass, education, Amherst College, curriculum support. And then I think this next one might be something different, work with UMass Amherst to create economic development and housing. So I'm going to separate that one out for now. So first off, are these four? This last one is a question mark in my mind. Oh, I'm sorry, Lynn. I didn't see your hand. Go ahead.
No, I'm just trying to remember. The present UMass Strategic Partnership Agreement is a 5-year agreement. I believe we are in year 3.
It was retroactive.
Yes, it was. So I just don't know. But yeah, I mean, I think we need to begin those negotiations. I don't disagree at all with that. I would like to not be specific. So
the agreement is through 2027. So it would make sense to start in my mind.
yes, begin negotiations. Yeah.
Sorry, I just wanted to get that date for you.
Thank you. That's what I thought. We're in the 3rd year. So Yeah.
So you're saying you think this one is
Too
too
specific.
specific?
Yeah.
Okay. I hate navigating Zoom and multiple things at the same time. Sorry. All right. Okay. What about this one? Pursue strategic partnership agreements that include a town council and school committee representative. That is the differentiation. One of the differentiations. Counselor Ate?
I looked at that and I wondered how would that fall under manager goal?
I don't know, but I can make assumptions. I could guess that he would be advocating for that inclusion as the person who holds those meetings. It's not a guarantee that he would get it, but I think that's maybe what this person was asking for, what Jennifer was asking for. Pat?
Well, I'm really uncomfortable with that. And I don't know whether this is the time for that or not. I don't think, given the composition of the incoming school committee, that it would be good to have a representative. Because I've seen limited ability to collaborate. And I also think that could be true with the council. Are we monitoring the town manager with this or what? I'm just not comfortable with it.
So the
But I don't know whether that's our role. So, and I don't, in a certain, our role isn't to comment on, well, this time it is substance. What's the substance of this? That's what we're looking at. So I don't know.
Yeah, we actually get into substance now.
Mm.
Counselor Ate?
I think Lynn had something to say.
Oh, sorry, Lynn.
Please go ahead.
Okay. So there are two things going on here. One is that the town manager is working towards having an agreement, or the town, with the town manager as representative, is working to have an agreement with these different entities. What if the town manager felt it would be more likely to have an agreement without having a member of the council on and a member of the school committee on? Would that then result in an evaluation that would be a bad evaluation? So is the focus on pursuing the partnership agreement, or is the focus on having within the group working on that agreement these representatives from the council and the committee?
Lynn?
Both the agreements that we have now, one with Amherst College and one with with UMass, have a quarterly or every 6-month meeting with the head of the institution, and that includes the president and the vice president. I don't believe that it's appropriate for us to be telling the schools what they should do in the town manager goals. So that particular piece isn't appropriate here, in my mind. Okay. I do, in the past, these negotiations have been done solely by the town manager and his staff. Usually Dave Zelmack has been involved, and usually the director of finance has been involved. And I think it's important that they be involved. And if the negotiations begin now for an agreement that would be renewed in 2027, it's going to be renewed sometime as counselors come up for reelection. I do think that it's important that the town manager have a conversation about elements that the council would like to see in the agreement. And that he have that that with the council.
I'm raising my hand. I agree, Lynn, and I think it actually, in my mind, would be problematic to only have one counselor attend these meetings because these meetings are so private in nature. You're only going to get a perspective of one counselor, be it the president, be it someone else.
Absolutely.
And that person is in a position where they are speaking on behalf of the council without actually having talked to the council because they can't talk to the council about it. So I would rather not create that as an expectation, and I would rather do what you're saying of have the town manager engage in a discussion with if I'm understanding what you're saying, is that have the town manager engage in a discussion with the council throughout the process or at the beginning of the process to say, what do you want me to, what's your thoughts on what I should focus on, knowing that he's also going to take thoughts from his staff and other folks as well.
Right.
But it should be
And meantime, he should have conversations, with the superintendent. The superintendent can have conversations with the schools because the present agreements do include money for the schools. So it's not inappropriate that the schools be part of the agreement. It's just that I think that it's a consultative process of the town manager with the other parties, and that the town manager is the official person at the table.
So some of these speak specifically about UMass, some speak specifically about or speak more broadly about also including Amherst College and Hampshire. Some
Right.
just say UMass and Amherst.
So let me just mention, we have the one with UMass will come up earlier. I believe the one with Amherst College we're only in the second year.
Yep.
And so there might be a goal that states begin negotiations for renewal of UMass strategic partnership. And
oh my God, sorry. And I want to note, which expires in 2027.
Yep.
Including a consultative, is that a word? Consultative. Google, so someone tell me.
Including prior consultation with the town council.
That's better. I can't spell superintendent.
Superintendent, yeah.
I-N?
I-N, yeah.
And that does not look right. Dent. Yeah, look, I fully own that I have diagnosed dyslexia, and typing on a screen in front of people is an actual nightmare. Superintendent of schools, yeah, and other relevant staff to determine priorities.
Yep.
Do we have a date of expiration for the agreement with Amherst College?
I think we're in the second year. I can't remember. Well, I should be able to remember. It was 1 year retro because they started paying for the library and they've already paid 2 payments. So it must be 2028 or 29. We can find that out. And it didn't get signed until it got signed just about the time that the national boom started being lowered on higher ed institutions. So it was amazing to me that they even signed it because of what that has looked like.
So I'm trying to figure out, I want to make a note here between Councilor Atta and myself. I want to make sure we note that we're intentionally not, or intentionally, or I want us to add Amherst College. I think that we need to make sure we state why it is or is not in here. And so it sounds like
I would say Amherst College agreement expires and then leave the date. I think it's 2028, but maybe put a question mark. Yeah. And the possibility that we will ever get one with Hampshire College, I think, is slim to none.
I personally agree. Pat, did you have a thought?
Hampshire College doesn't have any money. I wasn't saying anything important. Sorry.
Right.
It is important. It's sad, but it's important. Okay. Couple other things that happen around the colleges. Oh. Well, okay, sorry. I'm gonna back up because I distracted myself. These I didn't feel were strategic partnership agreement specific, but they were about elements that might be related. And I'm going to reorganize. I'm so sorry. I know that it's so annoying that I do this live, but just to kind of keep the relevant things next to each other.
You're good.
Thank you. Two people had pieces about the economic development director and economic development and housing. These are two similar. Hala and George had these. Lynn?
Yeah, when we last met with the chancellor, he's talked about his economic group, and there was definitely a discussion about having the new director of planning and economic development joining in some way with that group.
Hala, because sorry.
Yeah, so I think that
they're saying the same thing. It's just this one specifies who is doing it.
yeah, I would just go with one and say with the first one and not be so specific because it could change depending on the topic.
Pat?
So you're saying work with UMass Amherst, blah, 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 to identify economic and housing creation opportunities?
Mhm.
Okay. I could survive with that because I don't think we should be telling the town manager who to assign to what.
Mhm.
Okay.
Although that's who he would probably assign. But that, I feel like it's a lot of overstepping as usual. Lack of trust.
We're consistent, you know?
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
So these are not related. But I do want to just note, I had this first one about emergency response. I'd had this one initially with the strategic partnership, and I just pulled it out because it feels the other strategic partnership goals were so broad, and this is so specific. So if folks want to move this back up to the strategic partnership piece, we can. I'm not debating. I don't want us to discuss the merits of this specific goal right now, but if I just wanted to explain why I had moved it. All right, seeing no qualm. Counselor Ate?
BH.
Oh, this is the initials of who submitted it so that I can follow up as
Yes,
Bob
I was running through my mind. I
It
didn't.
it is technically
Bob
Robert
Hegner.
Hegner, but Bob Hegner in my mind came up. So RH would have been correct, but I don't think I've ever called him Robert, so threw me. Thank you for clarifying. This should not, this was when I almost put in infrastructure, but okay, we'll get to this when we get to this, I guess. Ready to move? We've narrowed down, so everything is kind of singular now in this area. Get it going to infrastructure and land management, which is one of the bigger topic areas. Okay. These were identical, so I think we can just pick one. Let's pick Hala's because she's on our committee. These were also, you and Jennifer had the same strategy, and I appreciate that. So we're gonna just do, okay. All right. Road and sidewalk repairs. Here are the 6 about road and sidewalk repairs. If you want to take a moment and read through them, and then we'll talk about cobbling them into one. Oh wait, one is, I'm so sorry. There's only 5. That's wastewater treatment. Okay, now you can read. I apologize for that. Lynn?
I like George Ryan's best.
And we can edit them too. We don't have to just go with one. Lynn likes this one.
It's the one I would start with because it has both the plan
Mm-hmm.
to present and it also has the transparency of then how people can know what's going on.
Know what's going on or submit requests.
Well, no, I want to add something. So I want to present a plan to the council for how to address the significant backlog of roads and sidewalk repair.
Mm-hmm.
Maintain a transparent and accessible and transparent list of roads and sidewalk of scheduled road and sidewalk repairs. And then the last one is the submitting with the TPC.
Maintain and update a prioritized list of road and sidewalk repairs that is publicly available.
Yeah.
Public, God. Okay. I'm going to be nitpicky here for a minute. These are three different things.
Mm-hmm.
And in the spirit of action items being one thing, I would argue that they should be broken out into three. That doesn't change the amount of work. But I think that when we, yeah.
So make a note.
Yep. All right. Is there anything else? Hang on. That's not what I meant to do.
Can I just say also, if you look at a plan automatically would have a funding plan. A plan would automatically have this other. So I think having a plan in front of the council is a critical step. It's something that didn't get done this year and frankly, not happy about it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Does this, I'm going real quick here. One note Jennifer had was it should include implementation or more measurable concrete goals than just a conversation. Because I think last year our goal was have a conversation with us about it.
Well, if you present a plan, then you have a goal.
Mm. I think that what Jennifer was saying is that where's the measurable, like how are we asking for something that's measurable or a time frame? And I think that's can be tough with this type of repair because they're so variable. But I think that
Can I just say it should be a multi-year plan? There's no way it's going to be a one-year plan.
absolutely. Can we specify that?
Yeah.
Because that adds, in my mind, that adds more of a time component to the plan that was missing before. So where we're landing is it would be 3 items, but item 1, present a multi-year plan to the council for how to address the significant backlog of road and sidewalk repairs. Item 2, maintain and update a prioritized list of road and sidewalk repairs that is available to the public. Item 3, work with the TPC to create an accessible and transparent means for residents to submit road or sidewalk repair requests.
Yep.
I have a question here. In my mind, this exists. We've talked about the TPC needing to create a system for traffic calming because that does not currently exist. But we do currently have a system through SeeClickFix for submitting road or sidewalk repair requests that follows all accessibility standards in terms of accessing it. I do not see this as a new need. I do see traffic calming and a process for that as being a need. Am I mistaken on this? In my mind, we have a means for residents to submit road or sidewalk repair requests. Lynn?
I agree with you. I think that maybe we want to have a separate goal that talks about what our expectations are of TPC.
That's fine, but I don't think this should be in here.
I would agree with you.
Would anyone be opposed to me taking it out for the reasons I explained?
And if possible, we could then say, present and make public a multi-year plan. Present to the council and make public a multi-year plan. And then that way it's one goal.
I don't think that this is, I think these are two different things.
Okay.
I think the prioritized list is what they kind of, again, have already started this past year, but this is like much bigger scale.
Mhm.
I don't know. I mean,
It's frankly what I expected to see this year.
yeah. Yeah. All right. Does that cover these? I think that this does kind of consolidate all of these into one. Does anyone else think we missed anything? Okay. Lynn, is that a residual hand? Just making sure.
Yes, it is. I'm sorry.
You're fine. I know we have something else about the wastewater treatment and I'm gonna want to move this again, but all right, we got DPW and fire all clumped into one and we need to separate them out into two, but some of them really combined. So I wanted to do this with the committee. So let's start with DPW because that's the one on top here. Take a second, read through. Lynn?
Let's just start with DPW. We've already approved a charge, if you will, so he needs to appoint the building committee for DPW.
And I don't think the goal of a firehouse going out to bid and see what it belongs here. We're just talking
Yeah.
about the DPW here.
I totally
Yeah.
agree with that. And have them present a schematic design to the council. And by the way, a schematic design includes costs.
I'm good.
Includes
I know
lots
that,
of
but I'm
other
gonna
things.
put it in parentheses just for our own clarity.
Yeah.
By when?
By December, maybe by fall. And
I was gonna say, if we're doing our evaluations in October,
yeah, it should be by October
yeah.
2026.
So I know we have to get to fire, but just for DPW for now, and Pat, the reason why is some people combined them, so I kind of had to smush them all together. But just
I understand that.
Thank you. So just for DPW, that covers building committee, designs to the council with estimates, and appoint the committees, funding plans, final locations, yeah.
And the only other thing that's missing is going out to bid.
Right. do you want to include? I mean, is it feasible? This might be a question for Paul, of whether or not it's feasible. If we're getting schematic designs,
And present a timeline for going out to bid.
okay. All right, let's talk. Any changes to this? Okay. Let's talk fire next. So the fire station we talked about.
I mean, it's basically the same thing. The issue that's unresolved at this point is location,
Yep.
although it's being worked on.
Yeah, but we also haven't seen the charge for that yet either.
No, we
So
haven't.
that's both. So it's create, charge, and appoint.
Yep.
Uh, committee. Um,
That's not feasible.
okay.
How about present a timeline for schematic design to completion of the project or something like that? And maybe we want to make the other one the same thing.
I think we gotta have something going, like this is, I mean,
Maybe we just want to say in the other one, timeline for completion of the project for the DPW building.
you really don't think that we can get a schematic design by October?
Oh, no, I definitely do. I present a schematic design
Yeah.
and a timeline for completion of the project to the council by.
Oh, instead of just going out to bid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want that in October too, or do you want that by the end of the year?
No, I think October is fine for that.
Right. I'll grammatically, I know these are off, Counselor.
Right.
Don't yell at me yet. I will fix them, I promise. Okay. Anything else on fire, DPW?
The only other thing was at some point, I would like to see an updated financial plan that includes all of our 4 big projects. We haven't seen that since, Sean left, and we haven't seen one since. And I think it would be very helpful, particularly in helping people understand one of the roles of quote free cash and reserves. Because huh?
Sorry, I had a clarifying question.
Why do we want to help people understand
No.
that?
Why is that not part of our typical financial indicators presentation? I know the financial indicators come from the state, but that is a big indicator of where the year is going to go. In my mind,
And
it
we're
would
going
be-
to, yep, I hear you. And I would like to see it in the financial indicators.
Okay. We can add that as a new one. Lynn, I will add this, but you did not email this to me as your goal, so I'm
I
asking-
know. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
It's okay. Include updated capital projects. I just needed to
Plan.
publicly yell at you. Plan to the council at the financial indicators meeting. Okay. All right.
She gave me credit for that, gang.
I will give you credit. I'm not a total jerk. Okay. Oops. All right. So we got these. I'm just gonna,
Are we making that?
I think that's separate.
Okay, got
So
it.
we'll discuss it.
Mhm.
Separate thing. Okay. Oh, here's my wastewater treatment. Hang on. I knew it was in here.
There was also one earlier too.
I grabbed it, I think. This is where I'm pulling it.
This is where the big shock is going to come this year.
Of costs.
Oh yeah, but see, what it's going to do is it has to get absorbed into the enterprise fund, which means
Oh,
rates are going to go soaring.
great. Okay. So we've got assessing the condition of the wastewater treatment plant and providing the council with regular updates of the wastewater treatment plan study. I think these are two different things. So I don't know what that second thing is, but the first two are basically the same. Enter into a contract to assess the current condition of the plant and just assess the current condition of the plant. And present a plan that will address. I
I
don't,
think yeah,
I
go
like
ahead.
Jennifer's.
I do too.
The only thing I would add is and associated infrastructure.
Mhm.
Oh, sorry. Let me do this properly. So this would be the one that we would
Mhm.
go with.
Yep.
Apologies about the weird spacing. Okay. Um, these are not, there should be a space there. These are not the same thing. Sorry. Got a lot of really specific building projects, but we'll get there later. Okay, Jones Library. So we got 3. Let me just fix the spacing. Sorry. Okay. Monthly fundraising updates.
Why?
Well, that I think, Pat, even though I do want to discuss that question, I think
I
it's
think it's ridiculous.
I know, but I think it's saying something different than these two, so I think we should skip that one for just for this moment. These two I do think are the same. So oversee the project to avoid cost overruns and secure the trustee share of the project financing, minimize interest costs of short-term financing, and then monitor the construction and funding and report any cost overruns to the council.
In my mind, I would start with Bob's and say continue to monitor the construction and funding for the Jones Library project and report regularly or monthly, however people want it. Regularly and provide a financial report on a monthly basis or something. I don't know. We didn't ask for this in the schools.
What I don't understand, I'm breaking my rule because other people broke it and I want to break it. I don't understand why this wouldn't be the job of the Jones Library, the council representative on the building committee.
It can be. But Paul is also on the committee.
Oh, okay. I mean, I knew that, but like in my mind, that's who we should be asking this for. But
I think the
I'm
real
laughing because
question,
my pickiness here. Oh, well, Councilor Arte, I wonder if I'm going to get out ahead of you on this. My pickiness here is this could be read as we are expecting Paul to stand outside and watch the construction work. Sorry, go ahead, Councilor Arte.
I can beat that. Um, still wondering about the provide a monthly financial report to the town council.
I see it. The reason why I broke it out is because I'm trying to, even though I keep breaking the rule, I'm trying not to debate the merit of the items quite yet. I'm just trying to consolidate those that are similar. And I felt that this was different than these two included the financial piece, although this, I guess it does too. I can combine it if we want to. I could go either way. You think it's should belong with the other two?
I do. I mean, the funding of this project is 3 parts of funding, and fundraising is one of the many parts. You know, what if the state all of a sudden burps and doesn't send us a payment? We'd want to know.
Do you feel that the provide a monthly financial report would meet the need that Jennifer put in here of monthly fundraising updates? I'm
You
getting
could
into
say
grammar.
that includes monthly fundraising updates.
Monthly financial report, including fundraising and any cost overruns. And then we've got everybody's needs in there.
Picky, picky, picky.
We can tear it apart on substance later. If we so choose.
I
You're not
would
assuming
love
that,
to tear it apart on multiple levels, but I
and I
will
look,
be quiet for most
I
of the rest of the meeting because there's so much crap in this, I can't believe it.
next meeting, come ready to tear all you want, but I appreciate you focusing us this time. All right. Wildwood Building. Counselor Ate, I'm sorry. I apologize if I moved on too quickly. Go ahead.
No, I wanted you to expand on what you meant because monitor the construction. How would we know if the town manager monitored the construction successfully?
In his monthly financial report. I don't know. It's a really good question. And I don't know the answer to it. I think that as we, I don't know. I don't have an
Why
answer.
don't you put the monitoring construction with a question mark?
I'm gonna write it in the notes.
Yeah.
GOL is not clear on what monitor the construction means and how that is actionable. I'm pulling in our normal terms here. Okay. Are we good to go to Wildwood here?
Mhm.
Okay. So Wildwood, we've got establish an ad hoc committee with counselors and residents to explore options. See East Hampton model. I do not know what that means or what that is. Goal to move more rapidly from surplus to redevelopment. And then second is work with the school department to develop a plan for future use of the Wildwood building or declare it surplus. Basically saying don't ignore this. Lynn?
It's not our building until they declare it surplus. And so I think we start by saying determine with the school committee, with the school department, determine with the Amherst Public Schools whether Wildwood will be declared surplus. Whether the Wildwood School will be declared surplus. And if so, then establish a committee to explore future uses.
Great. I think that covers it in my mind. I have no notes on that. I'm just going to make a note here. School has to determine surplus before we can do anything with it. Great. Great.
That was just infrastructure.
We already did. We're down through 2. Here we go. Look, that was the longest one, I think.
Okay.
Housing and economic development. We've got 2. Work on I think this was also snuck into infrastructure, but work on the new master plan. These are the exact same thing. I'm gonna go with Hollis. Okay. Year-round shelter. I'm gonna fix my spacing, sorry. Just so it's more readable. These 2 are the same.
I go with
George's gets a
Hollis.
little bit more specific.
I go with Hollis.
That's usually my inclination, but why, Lynn?
Oh,
Why
I don't
take
know.
out the specificity?
Well, I
I don't-
appreciate yours, Hala. I would like to go with George because he's talking about seeking development partners who work with the town to establish a year-round shelter with supportive housing and services. And those are critical elements of this thing.
I agree.
I agree. I like the specificity of George's. I think Jennifer and Hala pulled forward goals they liked from last year, which was absolutely great. I think George took it a step further.
Mhm.
I
And
agree.
I like it because it's more actionable. All right. Zoning. Okay, let's see if these say the same thing. I worry in this one, we legally cannot specify, other than senior housing exists, but we cannot specify members of the local workforce because we are not designated a seasonal community. If we had that designation, we could do this, but the state did not see our population, which divides in half at certain times of the year, as a seasonal community. So unfortunately, we cannot do that. So I am concerned about specifying this at this level when we cannot legally do that. I
One of
think that Mandy Joe's with missing middle gets there a little bit, but I'm not sure that the writers of the original goal would agree with me. Lynn?
One of the interesting things that I've heard, I haven't read it, but Provincetown actually went for special legislation around some of their housing. But it's actually for a tax purposes reason. I think Mandy Joe's kind of hits it.
I'm writing a note for myself. Okay. Mandy's, and is anyone in disagreement that Mandy's covers the needs from the other ones?
You know, the one thing that she doesn't say, she talks about housing, but not economic development.
Okay. Wait. What are you talking about?
Mandy Joe's does not include economic development the way Jennifer Tobbs did.
Sure. Okay. Could you expand on that?
So I would take Mandy Joe's and say propose revisions to zoning bylaws that support economic development.
Where did
And
I'm sorry. Oh, you're looking at this one.
I'm looking at that one, yeah.
Oh. Okay. All right. I'm just going to turn this purple again so I don't confuse myself. Sorry. So propose revisions to the zoning bylaws that would, I'm just going to say
That support economic
development.
Yeah.
And reduce the cost of developing, permitting, and building housing on parcels in Amherst. Okay.
And I just,
Jennifer also had reduced the time. Sorry.
yep, she did.
It's a really small, easy goal.
I'm gonna
Lynn,
put my
you had
hand up
something else? I'm
again.
sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Could you also just make a note below this, below your little note about special legislation? I think we're gonna get a push to review some fire codes.
Mm.
And maybe rightly so.
Okay. All right. I'm just gonna, those are for later.
Yep.
All right, done. Hey, look at that. Okay. Actually, this one might be the biggest one. Community health, safety, and social justice. So we've got first two from around CRESS policy, hours of operation, and then a more broad one. I included the recommendations from the league in here just for discussion. If people disagree with me on that, let me know, but I thought it was valid.
Did you include, I'm sorry.
I had taken ECACs, so they are in here already, but I can separate them. I can designate them out if that's what you're going to ask. Councilor Ate?
The league requests to have this as a goal.
Yes. Lynn?
So you've included the league. We also got recommendations from CSSJC.
Oh, I'm sorry. I did not put those in here because you know what? I was searching goals quickly and I missed that. So we'll have to add them in.
Yep.
Thank you for reminding me of that. I had just met with Martha last week and that was top of mind. That was not an intentional oversight
Right.
of CSSJC.
Right.
Okay, so I will add those in and we'll kind of rehash this a little bit on that front, but
So just make a note, add in, something.
I had, I'll get to that later. Okay, so let's get to these first two. Sorry, I'm realizing I'm writing in the wrong column. All right. Adjust this. The first one is specifically about hours of operation. The second one is a bit broader. I will say, at the risk of getting into substance, this is not something that we can promise the town manager can do in a year. And so that is my main concern here. I think that we need to say what are the elements that would ensure full effectiveness. I think both of the items given would be better articulated as action items. Councilor Ate?
I don't think you're getting into the substance. I think that is the entire substance of that point. It is not actionable to expect that one can ensure the full effectiveness of CRESS, even if all the things that follow afterwards are done. And so I prefer the option above.
Okay. And again, yeah, we can discuss whether or not as a council that's something we want to include, but this one more specifically, I think that there is dispatch comes up down here as well. So I think we'll talk about dispatch. But generally speaking, it sounds like I'm not hearing opposition to going for this one because of its increased specificity of what the action is that Paul would be taking. Okay. So assessment. This is a carryover. What? Go ahead.
Did you strike the one from the league because we're going to take up dispatch later?
Because dispatch is down here.
Okay,
So
got
really
it.
what I'm striking is more just the ensure the full effectiveness.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
just because it's not as actionable. But don't let me forget dispatch. So next is conducting the assessment. This was one you'll see here. This was Kathy had struck the number 5 and put in 6. Mandy had said, I want this in here, but change it to 6. This was something that was in the goals last year that didn't happen. In my mind, they're all the same thing.
Just choose one.
All right. I think that we're gonna go here, top, and done. All right. Critical space and program needs. There seems to be, George is saying develop a plan. Jennifer is saying implementing the plan. I thought there was a plan, but now I'm not.
Well, there's a plan to renovate the senior
Yeah.
center at some level, but the plan right now is only infrastructure. It's not the full renovation.
Well, I think that that's where it's the critical space and program needs. It's not like any and all.
I think we should go with Jennifer's.
I think so too, because I think that in my mind, that's what's, yeah, okay. All right, senior transportation. These are basically Holly included program offerings. Other two just said transportation.
I like the program offerings as well.
Sounds good. All right. I wanted to clarify. I separated this one out. From all of these are about police policies. These are about bylaws and regulations as well. So this is about working with the council. This is about working with APD. That's why this is in its own category. I just wanted to clarify that. So we've got to take a minute and read. We have a couple direct repeats, and then different reviews. So. Lynn?
I'd start with Mandy Joe's and then add in implementation.
So you're saying go here. I'm my hand raise is I think we need to divide it into review protocols generally. I'm realizing now, and the dispatch. I like the league's language of define and implement specific categories of nonviolent calls.
Oh, so you're saying
I think they're two different things. I think that review all public safety protocols is to review it ideally with looking with an anti-racist lens at generally kind of how we engage, how our police officers engage. And this one is about getting Cress on dispatch.
So I would go with Mandy Joe's and the leagues.
Yeah, I do still have some thoughts, but yeah, this is consistent. I do worry about the word implement, but I think that's getting into substance, so I'll save that. Okay. These are not the same. I just missed putting a space in. Sorry. These are also not the same. Just missed a space. All right. That's it. Climate action. Waste hauler. Got three different approaches here. Personally, Jennifer's is the most specific, and I'm drawn to that. I want to know how feasible that is, but I think that might be a question for later. Lynn?
I like Jennifer's.
Yep. Anyone else? Gotta go with a different color. Go back to yellow. Okay. Complete streets, man, all over the place. Personally, I like my own, but I'm open to I think these all pretty much. Oh no. So Mandy Joe included tier 3. No one else included tier 3. Um what we could do is pick tier 2 and have tier 3 be a separate goal. I think that's going to be better for the council in terms of determining which ones we would like to support. I'm going to propose that because otherwise I can see the council
Mhm.
debating back and forth for hours whether or not to include it, and I'd rather not do that. So I'm
Mm.
going to say that's separate, and I like mine. Does that sound okay?
Fine.
Does
Yeah,
that make sense, what I just did?
yes. I want to mention something. Go ahead and put even though it's a single thing, put that we've, the,
Mm-hmm.
um, put, color it now.
Yep.
Okay, that's all.
Okay. Bicycle network pedestrian plan. Bicycle and pedestrian network plan. There we go. We've got create a timeline for updating. We've got updating. We've got create a timeline for updating. Mine was pulled from ECAC, I believe. I hesitate to say update because I don't know what the process is for doing that. So I think that's why I'm leaning towards my inclination is to lean towards the timeline, but I think Mandy meant 2026. Any thoughts on this one? Which one you like? And you don't need to pick mine at all.
I like the fact that Mandy Jo suggested a goal.
Yep. I want to hear from Paul. I'm going to make a note.
Yeah.
I want to hear Paul about if this is doable.
I want to just go back up and mention on the tier 2 and tier 3. George and I were in a agenda setting meeting, and evidently there was at one point a tier 2 plan, and then for some reason, I think it was because of all of the things we have to commit to, it was never submitted because it was not seen as feasible. So I would like to suggest that we say we want to hear from Paul on both the 2 and 3.
We had this discussion at the goals last year as well.
Yeah.
And I think that the council believed that it should be prioritized, but what we never had the conversation for is what to remove from the plates of the people that we were asking to prioritize it.
Yeah. Good memory.
So I think essentially if we're asking DPW to be doing this, we need to take something off their plates or give them more people. And we don't have the money to give a lot of more people right now. Okay. These are all the exact same thing. So I like mine. Just because it's on the top. Okay. Solar bylaw. We've got one that's just solar bylaw, one that includes battery storage. I believe that these are going together, is my understanding of how they're being developed. Is that correct? Or is it
Yes.
totally separate? So I
I
think we
like
should
Kathy's.
go with the second one. Yep. Didn't we get this? Climate leader? No, we didn't get that.
Yes, we got it.
We did. We did this.
Yes.
My bad, my bad.
You're good. Isn't it exciting? Like, great, done. Okay. So that means that we can take this out? Are these truly going together is my question. Is solar and BESS going together, or are they going to be considered completely separately?
I
Should we-
would like to see them considered separately, however, that's not what's happening.
Ah. Well, now I don't know what to do.
They're going to be combined.
Oh, they're going to be combined into one bylaw.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for staying up on that. All right, everything else is a solo one. Last category, everybody. I love this committee. Don't ever leave me. I can't believe this is changing. Okay. Administration and leadership. We've got 2 onboarding ones. These are repeats from last year.
I kind of want to add
Yeah.
the council to these because
Um,
there was a goal last year of having the council have an anti-racism training, and the council has not done that.
I thought it
And
was in here.
it
It is.
needs
Oh,
to be embedded in this. We are as much of an employee of the town as anyone else. And we are faced with our own racism on a daily basis, and we should be addressing it individually and collectively. So I hope that goal will remain or get added if it's been taken out.
I will add it in and I'll put your name next to it.
See, you got one too.
No,
Uh-huh.
it has to pass the council to get it.
Well, no, I did this for Lynn too. Neither of you sent me anything, so I'm adding it now because you have GOL member privilege. Any counselor will be able to add at any point.
I like that GOL privilege.
It's not a real thing because as we know, counselors will throw something out at a meeting and I will put it in. Implement. Pat, does this get at what you're asking for? Implement anti-racism, anti-discrimination, anti-oppression training for town councilors.
Yes, but why can't it be added to?
Because this is specifically
Okay.
about the onboarding process for
Okay, gotcha.
my thing, the reason why I want this was that the last time we talked with Paul, or when we talked with Paul about this last year, there was not a formal onboarding process. And so this was something that I felt would be important for the town to have.
Yep.
I can get an update on that, but
I have a question, and I'm really posing it as a question. New counselors are onboarded. So are they included in this category?
no, this is like
No.
a
So
an
we have the
HR.
special privilege of not having to follow our own rules and goals. Okay.
Well, this is like full-time employee onboarding HR.
Yeah.
Counselor Ate?
I think, Pat, the town manager doesn't onboard councillors, so that'll be moving in a different
Yeah.
direction.
So to clarify though, this goal was for town employees, not committee members, not counselors. This came out of a discussion, just my memory of this goal came out of a discussion on providing anti-racism training to town employees. And my initial pitch on this the reason why I wanted to put it in onboarding was basically, I think it is a huge lift. It's not a bad lift to try to push for, but it is a massive organizational lift to try to train every single member of an organization in one thing. I say that having been working on this for the past 3-4 years at my job. So incorporating this in an onboarding process, I felt was a way to start to work on that culture change by having the anti-racism or racial equity training built into onboarding. You start to bring that into the culture kind of in a grassroots way. It is not the only mechanism that should be taken. It is one approach that I think should be included. That doesn't mean it's the only approach, but that was my initial reasoning for this goal last year. Counselor Ate?
Yeah, I was wondering if you could then just specify that it is for employees.
Okay. Lynn?
You use the word an orientation to the town's values. I don't know that we have any place we've ever written down our values.
Yeah, that's a good point.
The council rules include a statement of values.
The council's
The
rules.
council
for the-
does, yeah, but not for employees.
Right.
It would be
So-
pretty bold of us to.
If-
These are now the values of the whole town.
So in some ways, racial equity training, I guess that covers both anti-racism and anti-discrimination. Okay.
No, I like anti-discrimination too. I'm gonna throw in a racial equity and anti-discrimination. Because discrimination can happen on a whole lot of bases that aren't race.
Then let's go with yours.
Mostly because I just edited it into oblivion, but yeah, great. Okay. Okay. We got a bunch about workplace morale. This is one that we wrestled with, this first one specifically. We wrestled with this a lot last year content-wise, so I'm gonna try to keep myself from delving into that too much. But generally, are these three things saying the same thing? And if not, we should, sorry, I just got the hiccups. If not, we should break them apart. And if so, which one says it in a way that we recommend continuing discussion on with? Oh, I'm sorry, Lynn.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Counselor Ete?
I'm more inclined to the first one. I know that the town manager has a lot of skills. I don't see how he could improve employee morale. I think what we could expect from him would be exploring and demonstrating the exploration of the strategic options that would increase morale for people that work in the town.
I wanted to take a set. Sorry, I'm just making this so it doesn't bump everything. Mandy had included, I should have broken this out, I'm sorry, but Mandy had included trying to basically saying, you know, her concern is that turnover is really high. Maybe it'd be better to word this as undertaking a review of salary and supervisory responsibilities to ensure there's no bias. That's something completely different, I think. But I just wanted to make sure folks had read through Mandy's piece here as we went through. So far we're liking this one.
Yeah.
In terms of the one to carry forward, not saying we're supporting it in the end, but is there anything from this? I still think that what Mandy is talking about gets at the same thing here.
To me, it's a piece of what you do about staff morale, but it's not everything. That's one reason why I like the top one.
Okay. I'm gonna keep moving if it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Got some stuff about boards and committees.
Paula, what do you mean specifically? Work towards more transparency with the committee appointments, I get, and offering repair for misunderstandings or controversial appointments or non-appointments. Can you give me some idea of what you were thinking about there?
Sure. I think around 2 different appointments since I've been on the council, I received a lot of emails being upset about a decision Paul had made. One was about CSSJC, the other was about the Conservation Committee. And they call into some of the community members and, you know, how it becomes a snowball, call into question transparency, dishonesty, stuff that, or, okay, no, they call into question dishonesty or things that I don't think are really happening. So as the town manager, how can he and how can we help support him in like showing that there is transparency, that there's not like this hidden agenda or power
Yeah.
brokering at play, just to repair some of the way the community takes it and is like,
I don't
well,
know.
you know what I mean?
I don't
Yeah,
know
go
if we
ahead.
can repair that. Counselor Ette has, Freka has his hand up and I'd like to hear him too, but I want to stick a little bit with what you're saying and try. So,
Go ahead, Pat.
well, I'm trying, when I think about what happened on the Conservation Committee, I asked Paul specifically what was going on, what happened. Okay. And I got a very clear, direct answer, which made me understand what was going on. I checked out with another conservation member as if I didn't know, and I said, "Hey, what's going on?" And they spoke very directly to the same issue. And because this is public, I don't feel like I can say the specific issues. And I think that in that one very specifically, Paul was actually trying to do a better job of not appointing someone who should not have been reappointed, but without sharing it with the public in a way that could have embarrassed them. And that backfired, as it always does, because this community is very invested in embarrassing people right now. Some members of it are, and that one was very specific. And so I'm sitting here looking at what you're saying, and I'm trying to understand in that instance what would be the repair. And I'm really respectful of what you've written here, and there's something I support about it, which is why it kind of is going. Yeah.
No, and I agree. Maybe there isn't repair if one side is not willing or ready to believe. Like, I also, he told me, he called me up and we had a very frank conversation and I believed him. And of course, it was information I wouldn't share. But when people
Right.
came at me, I said, I am satisfied with the response. And they, you know, intimate that like he's a liar or this and that. And so maybe there's nothing we can do to help be like, no, he is being transparent. So I just wanted that on there as a,
Well, it's
but I'm not
interesting
sure.
because,
What does it look like?
yeah, I hear you. And what is transparency? And that's a real question that this council in this town needs to look at. What is transparency? And what would restoring, how could we restore? We had a member of the council who should have recused themselves around this particular issue, and that didn't happen, and nobody said anything when this person should have recused themselves, and they fed the
Right.
narrative, the negative narrative, and anyway. So I think
So I wanna, oh, sorry. I'm gonna have a couple
This
more
is the
comments.
substance.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. I have another idea, but we can talk about that later.
Let me go to,
Sorry.
well, no, it's okay, Hala. I want to hear from you. So go ahead, and then I want to move us on. I think it's good.
Councilor Etes had his hand up.
I know. I cut Hala off, and don't worry, I am keeping track of the hands.
Good.
Hala was about to say something. I just wanted to make sure that we're staying on topic a little bit here, or on task. So go ahead, Go ahead.
Okay,
Councilor Love.
like 60 seconds or less. I also,
Absolutely.
in my forum, heard a few people say, I applied for a committee and I never heard back. And it would be extra work, and maybe we could get an assistant for Angela, but also maybe a letter. Thank you for applying for this committee, ABCD. because it came up a few times during the campaign and forums that, oh, there's no transparency. I applied, I never heard. I know. So maybe there's just certain things we could do that would help the community know that, thank you for,
Yeah,
to work. Yeah, just little things like that. So, but that might not be a goal. That might be a conversation. All right. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Pat. Thank you, everybody. Go ahead. Anna.
Thank you. I'm going to go to Councilor Arte, and then my proverbial hand is also up, and then Lynn, go ahead. All right, so Councilor Arte, start with you.
Given the discussion we've had, it's why I actually like Anna's proposal. Clarifying the process is as neutral as a statement you could make. To clarify the process simply means to lay out what the expectations the public should have from the manager with regard to appointments. And it doesn't come laden with the idea of transparency, which, as a question that Pat asked, I think there are as many definitions of transparency as people who are willing to answer. And so I'm fully on board with what Anna has as a proposal.
So when my hand went up, Pat, was when you asked that question, because what I wrote in my proposed goal came from me sitting at a district meeting and asking people, what does transparency look like when it's operationalized? Because I agree, we say the word a lot without having proof of when we've done it, right? And so, or examples of how you do it. So that's what kind of created this goal, this text that I drafted, and I don't think it's perfect. I don't think it gets at everything, but I think that this was one piece that people said they were missing when I met with my constituents, right? So what is the process and how does it function? And just that automatic reply, people were saying that it felt so opaque when they would go months without hearing. And so even an automatic reply that says, we're working to fill this committee, you won't hear from us until we have a fully like a full applicant pool or something like that. That was where that came from. I think that my text and Hala's text is covering the same thing in some ways. The bottom one is different in other ways, and if we want to pull it out, we can. If people think it's getting at the same thing, we can also kind of try to make sure it's covered or not. Lynn?
I like yours, but I would like to add to it.
Okay.
And that it includes an automatic acknowledgement of receipt.
That's what it says.
Oh, it just I was just taking it as face value, is receipt of application and clarification of procedures. I've heard the same complaint, and it's it confirming receipt of application even that people are not getting.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Anything, do people think that this needs to be broken out? This is about streamlining and improving the recruiting, vetting, selection, and onboarding of community volunteers who serve on the town's board and committees, including exploring. I think this is different. Oh, sorry, Councilor Arte, go ahead.
I agree. I think it is different, especially the first sentence, the part that includes exploring how the town might shrink the number of boards and committees. That should be a discussion first had with the council, rather than as an explicit goal, at least not at this point.
Agreed, yeah.
Should be. Okay. All right. My God, we're almost done. Oh, hey, we are done. Okay. First off, thank you. That was all the areas. So we managed to get rid of duplicates. I want to talk about the plan here. We now need to get into substance at our next meeting. And I'm gonna ask, part of me wants to email counselors and being like, here are all, now it's probably down to like 90 action items. Are there any that you wrote that you will pull? Are you willing to pull any? I'm playing with the idea of how to bring this to the council and kind of ask for some preliminary prioritization. Because, timing wise, we need to move much quicker on this than we necessarily may want to. And I don't know. I'm trying to figure out the best way to do it. I'm sorry, I'm jumbling all my words here. But I want to bring this back to the council in some iteration for review, even if it's just our notes from today and just seeing all of them all at once. Are there any thoughts on what I should do here from any committee members?
So we did have an agenda review today.
Mhm.
And we left this on the agenda with the full understanding that we would not have a full set of goals.
Right.
Okay. If there's something you want in the packet, it has to go in tomorrow.
Yeah.
And that would be, everything that's left, I guess.
Yeah. So I'm happy to send you what we did today with kind of the notes that we included and just basically give the update that what GOL did was consolidate repeats into one, and our next meeting will be entirely dedicated to making recommendations of the priority areas that we think the council should consider. I do think that it would be helpful for us so that we're not just completely bringing only our own perspectives on what should be brought to the table forward. I do think it would be helpful for us to get some sort of feedback from counselors. So I'm happy to create a feedback form for counselors on these areas that they would send only to me, and that we would then discuss at our next GOL meeting to kind of inform what stays in, what gets the boot. What I do want to stress to counselors on Monday is just we cannot put everything that you want to do in these goals. And at the end of the day, if you had to pick 3 in each area, rank choice vote it, what are your 3? Or something like that. And allow that to drive the GOL discussion next time we meet. I think that would be helpful. That's where I'm leaning, because I think that it would be helpful for us to get an idea. I think otherwise, what I'm afraid is going to happen is GOL is going to put together the best list of a reasonable number of goals, and it's going to be great for the 5 of us. But people will disagree, and then we'll want to add them all back in, and we'll have a nightmarish council meeting about it. So I would rather get that feedback on all of these items. It's something we didn't really do last year in a coordinated way. So Lynn, if I include all these items for the packet,
And instructions on what you want counselors to
I
do
know that's what I'm going to have to do by tomorrow. Okay. Yep.
at noon. And I'm facing the same problem, so.
Yep. Okay. Can I do it as a memo if I'm sending them an email form?
Yes.
Can I just include a memo that says I'm going to
Yes.
send you this thing? Okay. All right, hang on. Let me write it down by noon. Putting it in my calendar. If anyone wants to text me at 10:30 and say, have you done this yet? Send memo for. All right. I want to move us along, but any last comments on this before I do? So basically, plan of attack here is I'm going to get feedback from counselors. I'm going to send a form saying ranked choice vote your top in each area. And then we will discuss that and we'll get into substance at our next meeting. Ideally, we will come to a conclusion. I think this GOL has the ability to be ruthless in a caring way, if that exists. and get this down to a list that we can bring back to council that is well thought through, but is much more manageable. I also will be seeking feedback from Paul on the list, but I don't want to go to him with 97 and, waste his time there. So I'd rather narrow it down first. Last thing that we absolutely need to get to today, because I need to get it to Lynn. I have the deadline written down, but I don't know it off the top of my head, is our carryover memo. So I want to move to that, if that's okay. Otherwise, any last comments on goals? Dun, dun, dun. Okay. So carryover, yes.
Yep, the carryover memos were there, nobody's done them, so there's none in the packet, and so therefore we won't come to them until the 8th.
I recall you told me December 1st, but I may be
I did,
completely-
but nobody's gotten them there.
It's not December 1st yet.
It was for the December 1st meeting.
Oh, I misunderstood that as being I needed to do. I'm sorry. I completely wrote it down like do it by November 1st. I apologize. That's my misunderstanding.
I think
So
you got a good start here, though.
if I could submit a table as a memo, happily. This is now is this what we just voted on? All right.
Yes.
So here are the items. What, Lynn? That is what we just did? There's nothing else at CRC?
Anna,
Yes.
the solar bylaw, because it's combining also the BES, it's called the Clean Energy bylaw now,
Thank
but I
you.
don't know if that matters.
Oh my God, solar and, that's helpful. So basically, for those who don't remember, the carryover memo is the thing that committees submit at the end of a council term, or at the end of every year? No,
Yeah,
end of the term.
at
Every
the
year.
end of the
When
term.
did I do this? Okay.
It's at the end of the term.
At the end of the term, basically saying this is everything that was sent to us at any point in time, whether it's come to us fully or whether we just haven't gotten to it yet. And so, and this is our recommendation as to whether the next iteration of GOL should take it up when they get to it, or it should basically kind of go to sleep in committee for eternity, and be removed from.
There's one other option, and
Yes.
that is that on the 8th, when everybody presents their carryover memos,
Mhm.
Any counselor can ask that a specific item be placed on the agenda on the 15th for the purposes of voting it off our priorities. So the way it works is that, if somebody said, I don't want to deal with bylaw X,
Mhm.
okay, then the counselor would say, please place bylaw X on the agenda for the 15th of December for a vote as to whether it should be carried forward at all.
Yes. So committees can't bind the council, right? So our
That's right.
carryover reports are ultimately voted on by the council. So
They
are
actually aren't voted on.
sorry,
by
the
council.
items are accepted by the council if they want to get rid of them.
Exactly. So
this is my best understanding of our outstanding items. It's 8:20. We have not gotten to the Resident Oversight Board charge and plan yet. My report back to the council that will be due is that GOL has not gotten to this yet and we need more time. The HRC bylaw was referred to us on Monday and referred for recommendation and report by March 23rd, 2026. The clean energy bylaw was referred, I think, before my time. I think I was here, but before my time on GOL. But that is currently, my understanding, is still with the state. Pat, is that correct?
Pat, unmute.
You're muted.
Unmute.
You're
Pat.
muted. But I can tell you've got good
It's
thoughts.
still in CRC. It is not ready to come to GOL. It won't come to GOL before January. So it doesn't
Okay.
have to be, I mean, it can be on the carryover because you're
It
going to
has
get
to
it,
be.
but
Yeah, so anything that has a referral to us has to be on the carryover. Lynn?
it hasn't been referred.
I wanted to do exactly what Pat said, and that's clarify that I think it's with CRC.
Thank you. It was referred to us for clarity, consistency, actionability, Pat. It was one of those like dual referrals.
I don't
So
think
it goes,
solar, I don't think solar was. I think solar went to CRC for development and then
That's
council will
right.
have to refer it back to CRC and GOL for hearings and so on. I
why
can
did I
go and
have it
check,
on
but
here?
because we always anticipated it would come to GOL, but I don't think
Oh,
I think once CRC is finished with it, because it's zoning, see, the council couldn't refer it to CRC for hearings and so on and do that regular hearings to CRC and review by GOL. It was further development by CRC, and then it would come back to the council for re-referral for hearings by CRC and the planning board and review by GOL.
thank you, Pat and Athena, for clarifying on that. So I will take this off. Not referred. Streetlights is with Paul. Waste hauler is with Paul. Athena, I didn't write this well on my items notes. Is this what we just did, or is this something different?
That's the one that you just did.
Great. Okay. The legislative process guide. So the legislative process guide was an item that was created by Shalini Bal-Milne in her last term on the council. It's something that we tried to get to a couple times in the very beginning of our time together as GOL, and it consistently got backburnered. This is a document I will resend to all of you unless you want to try to use Outlook search. It is intended as a useful tool for counselors in terms of many different topics, such as how to introduce something, how the legislative process works, et cetera, et cetera. GOL was tasked with the question of kind of if and how we want to formalize this document into the council's library or into the council's policies in some way. And GOL, we have not been able to have that discussion because of the other things on our plate. I am open to thoughts on this, but we've not really had a chance if people would like to re-review it. But this has been on our plates for a couple years and we have not gotten to it. Lynn, you had a hand up and then put it down.
I'm not, I have no comment on this.
Okay. Councilor Ate?
I think it should stay. I think it is a useful document that we could work on if we, at least when I mean we, I mean the next GUL. We spoke about transparency and we spoke about clarifying processes for people in town. This would be one document that could do that. And so I'm hoping that it goes forward.
I think that I don't mind keeping it on here if my worry is that I think this document could be take up an incredible amount of time from GOL in terms of creating it into something that's more formalized, and parts of it are not necessarily able to be formalized. So I think that my recommendation ultimately, and what I don't know is if this is a carryover recommendation or if this is actually a legislative process guide recommendation. I feel like it could be more useful as a reference tool for the town to use in some way, like the Civic Academy could utilize that tool or something like that. But I would be inclined to remove it from the GOL action list at some point. Councilor Ate?
Nothing to respond to with that. Thank
Oh,
you.
that's fine. You had your hand up. So what we'll have to do is vote if we want to remove anything from the recommended to carry over into the next term. So right now that looks like this, and this. I'm going to do a double check and make sure that there was nothing else, but I believe that that's the items in bold are what we would be including in our carryover memo. Lynn?
We have a finance committee appointment.
Oh my gosh, and a charter review technically.
Yeah, but that one's done.
Okay.
And then the other, I just want to mention something so that you're thinking about it. And that is at the very first council meeting of the new council. The council will be receiving the charter committee report. Given what the charter's about, if it's going to be referred to a committee, it would be GOL. But who knows what the council may do. They may say they want a separate committee. I have no idea.
Yeah, I also have questions because we're supposed to, in years ending in 6, do a full bylaw review.
We're supposed to do a full bylaw review, and the other thing is we're supposed to do a rules of procedure review and a committee charge review.
So GOL does that every year though. And the way that we handled it this year was that if people had changes, they were to submit them to us.
Right.
Yeah.
That's true.
Councillor Lord?
Please forgive me. I'm forgetting this, and it's 2:30 in the morning where I'm at. But
Oh my gosh.
Oh, where are you?
Where are you?
Yeah,
You don't have to tell us. Undisclosed location. You don't have to tell us.
Undisclosed.
oh,
Damn, I want to know.
I'll-
I'm jealous.
it was a surprise trip by my partner. Yay. Okay.
Oh, no.
But it's cold. Anyway,
Oh.
I'll tell you all. But CSSJC, there was something they were going to send to us, and I remember us being very clear we couldn't do it by the end of this year. So would that be on this committee? And I'm sorry, I'm blanking what that was, but I remember they also discussed it. Can anybody help me here with what they wanted? Thanks.
We had talked, I'm meeting with Deb and Allegra next week to talk about what they had some questions about their charge. Until something is referred by the council to GOL, I mean, GOL technically can bring something up as a committee, but the carryover items are things that have been referred to us that are like in our to-do bucket. So CSSJC can't refer to GOL. They would need a counselor to take forward the item that they wanted action taken on. That counselor would bring it to the council that would then refer it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, if there was anything, no problem.
And I'm in Amsterdam. It's not a mystery.
Wow.
So have a lovely time. With that, is there anything? I'd rather just vote the items now, and then I will write or maybe let me rethink this. Can we straw poll the items here? This is not an official vote, and I will write the memo because I think what we have to actually have you vote on is the memo. But Lynn, then we won't get it in time. Shoot.
Well, I was going to ask, when are we meeting again?
So we meet again on December 9th.
That's not time enough.
So can we vote on the items and then I can send the committee the report for edits if they have any, but it will include only these items?
So if you need to take the charter review committee appointment. I'm sorry, you need to take the charter review committee report off.
Yeah.
Because we don't know that.
Yep. And then this was a question mark. It was something counselors said they were planning to bring to GOL. Edits to the TSO charge should the TPC be.
I think you should put it in the memo as a potential, but be prepared in our last meeting to remove it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So what I would like to do is ask any members of GOL if there's anything on this list that they would like to not recommend we carry over. And then we will vote to remove that, to recommend removal. Councillor Ate?
I'd like us to take off the charter review committee appointment.
Okay.
Second.
All right. I'm going to call the vote for removing the Charter Review Committee appointment from the carryover memo. Councillor Ate, would you like to speak to why?
I think given the timeline that we have for the report, which is supposed to be in January, getting this done one, doesn't give enough time to whoever is voted in, and two, it upsets the balance that is going to that has been honed over this entire time that the committee has been together. That is, I think, adding an additional person on, the benefits are not worth the reward, in my opinion.
Thank you. Any other discussion on the motion to remove the Charter Review Committee appointment from the carryover memo? Okay. I just wanted to confirm timeline here. The council is getting the report from the final report from the Charter Review Committee. What was the actual date of that? What was the actual deadline? It was
January 5th.
January.
January 5th. So it feels like a moot point if that's their final report, and knowing that we will not get to this by the end of the year, there would be no committee for them. That committee will, I'm assuming, dissolve upon receipt of that final report. So there wouldn't be a committee for them to sit on. All right, I'm going to call the vote to remove this. Councillor Lord,
Aye.
Councillor Ate,
Aye.
Pat DeAngelis,
Aye.
Lynn Griesmer,
Aye.
and I am an aye as well. Okay.
So that this committee recommendation is, Lynn, essentially a request to place this on the December 15 agenda for the council to vote not to carry it over.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Okay.
Thanks, Athena. Is there anything else that people feel strongly that they would like to recommend remove from the carryover memo? Or from the items we recommend to be carried over? Okay. All right. Do we need to, Athena, take a vote on this, on these items? If
No.
we- okay. So what I'm going to do is I will write this into memo form. It will include the recommended items that we carry over, which are all of these minus the appointment. It will include the fact that we are recommending the council not carry over the Charter Review Committee appointment. And it will just say it in more words than this. I will send it to GOL committee members. I will BCC all of you, so you cannot reply to everyone. If you have concerns, please let me know. But I will need to get this to the council for the meeting on the 8th. Does that sound okay to everybody? All right.
If we are going to bring our recommendations for the goals to the council on the 8th, we have to meet before
Yep.
then.
Yep, we do. So I know that we're over time by a few minutes. We technically our final council meeting of the year, Lynn, is the 15th, right?
Correct.
So great. So are people available, and I'm sorry, are people available on December 2nd from 6:30 to 9:30?
I am not.
Okay. Councilor Ate, you are not.
December 2nd?
December 2nd, Tuesday the 2nd.
Oh, I'm in the wrong year. All right. Hold on.
If not, I can look for other days.
I am available.
Okay. I think, Hala, did you say you were or were not?
It's,
Okay.
I would be working and doing the meeting at the same
Yeah.
time, but
Yeah.
I could make it
So-
work if you need quorum.
The only other day, I mean, we'd also be looking at Wednesday or Thursday evenings. Quick check on availability on the 3rd or the 4th. Do people have the evenings on the 3rd or the 4th? Sorry to do this to you.
I could do either.
Okay.
I have CRC on the 4th. I could. And
I could
there's
do
a,
either.
I can't do either one. I have a survival center commitment
That's okay.
on the 3rd. It's
Counselor Arte, what about you? Do you know?
Can't commit to any of those days. I think we're getting to the end of the semester, and so there's a lot more that is going on in the evenings.
Yeah. Lynn, did you say?
I can
apologize.
do the 3rd or the 4th. It seems like we pick up Hala on the 3rd, so maybe we have to go to the 3rd.
Hala, did you say that you had a preference for one or the other?
No, I'm available both days.
I technically do have a commitment on Wednesdays that I would have to cancel, so I would prefer the 4th. But Athena, I want to check with you to make sure if CRC is meeting.
CRC meets till 5.
CRC meets till 5, and then the Charter Review
Charter
Committee meets afterwards.
Yeah, so you'd have to do a Wednesday, right? Are you available on Wednesday?
Yeah, I can do that Wednesday.
Okay, so if we did Wednesday the 3rd, 6:30 to 8:30. Okay,
I might be able to be here for the very last hour, something like that. I'll try to do that.
so what I'll ask that, I mean, Pat, that'd be great. I feel bad making everybody go back to back here. What I will ask though, Pat, is that if you don't mind, I want to make sure we get your thoughts on the goals. So if you have any thoughts that you want to make sure we're discussing, if you can send them to me that ahead of time, I'll make sure to say them as we go through. That would be really helpful. Okay, so we will have a meeting on the 3rd. That means, Athena, that I need to get you an agenda on Friday, right?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Town hall's
Oh,
closed
because there's
Friday.
a Thursday. Athena, the only agenda item is goals. That truly is the only agenda item. So I will email you that, but consider we'll do public comment and goals, but that's it.
Okay, great.
And do you want me to email that to you? So you have it on file.
Yes, please.
No problem. Okay. All right. I'm going to email Athena that agenda. So we will meet then. Our next meeting will be Wednesday, December 3rd, 6:30 to 8:30. I'm so sorry. I typically get you out on time, so I apologize. I'm keeping you over. And then I will still be seeking feedback from the council on the goals, and that's what we will be discussing on that meeting. I don't know if anybody will get it back to me by then, but we'll at least get started. Any other topics before we hear a motion to adjourn? Is there a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
Thank
Second.
you. Second, great. Calling the vote, Counselor Ate,
Aye.
Counselor Lord,
Aye.
Lynn,
Aye.
Pat,
Aye.
and I am an aye. Thank you all so much for the great work that you did
Have
tonight.
a great time, Hala.
Take care. Enjoy.
Thank
And
you.
happy Thanksgiving to all of you.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Happy whatever.
Happy gathering with hopefully people you love.
Or
Right.
Giving Thanks Day. That's what we usually say. in our
Giving
family.
Thanksgiving. There you go. That
It's
sounds
an
good.
Indigenous Day of mourning. People should go to Plymouth.
Been to it many times.
And I know you have.
So many
Yeah.
school trips.
Me
Okay.
too.
Have a great day.
All right.
everybody.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.